We're back.
We're
Sort of.
back.
We're
It
back.
is episode 194. Carcass, do the finger thing.
194.
Beautiful. Episode 194 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is that homeboy, my homeboy, right? There he is. Down
Carcass
there.
John.
And my other homeboy.
Scott.
You're getting better
that's
at
me.
this.
Yep. You just got to point it the opposite direction you think it is.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like backing up a trailer.
We
You
are.
just sort of have
exactly.
to turn the wheel the opposite direction.
That's right. I've just enjoyed a burger at 4:30 in the afternoon, and I'm now enjoying a nice non-alcoholic beverage of my choice. It's so very metal.
Dude, I have some of that in my fridge, surprisingly.
I love Texas Select. Don't feel like drinking, but yeah, there you go. So anyway, shout out Texas Select.
Right on.
Oh man. Well, let's get into it. Got any shout outs? Would you guys sing happy birthday with me?
Sure. To who?
The Hammer's birthday is today. Henry
Vasquez. Yeah, he's on my list.
Please
Looking at
join,
it right here.
Please join me in 3, 2.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday to you.
Happy
Happy birthday, dear
Enrique.
Hammer.
Wow, we suck.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. That was
Ay,
really bad.
Martillo Fuerte. Hammer. Henry Vasquez.
That was the most
Apúrate.
off-time thing
Ándale.
ever.
That was
It was
horrible.
terrible. Henry will love it. He's
That
a
was
lot better
awful.
singer than we are. He should have been on here. Except I know
Yep.
he's out partying already with his beautiful bride. So anyway.
Man, he is a great singer and a great drummer. Happy birthday, Henry. We love you, and we love you.
I'm looking at
So
TJ Lewis's comment,
much.
and that's really funny. Production value birthday singing.
Prevail metal it will. Damn right.
Hey, speaking of TJ Lewis, can I just throw something at you? A crazy fact.
Bring it.
Today is the 3rd anniversary of Forebode playing in my living room.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 3rd year, yeah.
All right.
So thank you. So shout out to Zach and Guillermo and TJ and Fast Eddie. That was pretty awesome. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, my
When is your
birthday's
birthday?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow is my birthday. Yes, it
salute.
is.
Cheers and happy birthday to you. Let's sing it again. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, don't.
Happy
Let's not do that.
birthday.
Yeah, 46 never felt so good.
Shit. You need to reverse those numbers, Chief.
What?
I think you might be dyslexic.
Oh, and shout out to the Queen, man. I really dig that chick. She's awesome. Anyway, all I
Scotty
got.
Adams is here.
Say what, huh?
Scotty Adams is here. TJ
yep.
Lewis is here. C. New is here. Tony Clem is here. Damian Hair Metal is here.
Sing. Chingao.
TJ Lewis is still here. No Baloney Anzalone is here.
Woo-hoo!
Yes. What is up? You boys got some more shout outs. I just shouted out Henry the Hammer Vasquez birthday is today. Who else?
No, I shouted out for Bode, but somebody sent me a nice little package in the mail. Should I open it up?
Let's go through it.
You should.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and a sticker
Set this up.
designating it as the box for Carcass.
Do you want me
Thank
to
you
set
very
this
much.
up?
Oh, and look at what we got here.
So, for those who don't know, because we did this after the show the other day, I was getting rid of a very small 7-inch collection. And so after we signed off the show, I gave Scott and Carcass the pick of the litter of what they wanted. And so Carcass got his box today. Whee!
I'm telling you, man, you are the greatest cartoon. You are the greatest cartoon character ever in the history of cartoon characters. I love these things. And I was in such a creative slump until the Queen just said, draw anything and I'll get it tattooed on me. And then all of a sudden the gates opened up and then here you are at the gates. at the gates of creative hell. Anyway, those are cool. All right, let's see what I got here. Ooh, Holy Grail Dark Passenger. Cool.
Yes,
Grave
sir.
Robber. Love Hurts.
California Grave Robber horror punk.
Horror
And it's a
punk
cover of a Nazareth track.
Wow, and it's red. I love colored vinyl. You know how I love colored vinyl. Okay. Oh, I forgot about this one. This Napalm Death Melt Banana. Melt Banana is a weirdo Japanese noise grind band, but that's a Napalm Death. There's a couple of Napalm Death tracks I don't own, and I didn't know that. I thought we were almost going to have to fight over this one, but we didn't. The Power Trip Flexi Disc. That is very, very cool. And let's see. Sacred Dawn Contradiction with the CD. Thank you very much. And, of course, one of our favorite local bands of all time that has a few irons in the fire, including our friend Henry Vasquez. We'll have to have him on like Donkey Kong. But a Mothership 7-inch on the infamous splatter red and white vinyl, which I did not own until now. Yay!
Yep.
So
I still have one hanging on the wall, but I think I bought 3 different variants, and since my name is not Carcass John, I don't need 28 versions of Lonesome Crow or whatever. So
no, you do need that. Everybody needs that. But
that's right.
Thank you, Hair Metal Rob. That is awesome.
You're welcome, my dude.
And I sure miss shouting you out on the crypt on Fridays at 6:00. And I used to say after the Metal Rob show, thanks for hanging around after the Metal Rob show. And I can't do that anymore.
Yep.
So.
There is no Metal Rob show anymore.
But you can catch me on the crypt 6:00 on Deep Dallas Radio. And I've got another heavy set of, I've got the new Blood Incantation track. I have a snippet off of the new Gravesend, a snippet off of the new Tomb Mold, which is probably my album of the year. It is so spectacular. It's pretty groovy. So anyway, check me out on Deep Dallas Radio, 6:00 Friday night.
DeepDallasRadio.rock.
Self-promotion, it works every time.
And we also broadcast on their Facebook page. So if you're watching us through the Deep Dallas Radio Facebook page, thank you for that. Shout out to the great Brad Amos. We love you, buddy.
Yo.
You're the man. Scooter, what's going on?
You the man. Hey, let's shout out a band that played their last show. I believe it was last night or the night before last.
Yes.
Kicks.
Oh, man. They're done?
They're done.
Last show they played in, I believe it was in Ohio.
Yep.
Yeah. They gone. So
Pennsylvania,
I've always liked them. I thought they were a solid, hard rock, glam metal, whatever you want to call them, band.
Seems like they always got lumped into the hair metal category, and I never thought they were hair metal.
I mean,
it's a fuzzy term.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it depends what album you're talking about. I mean, Blow My Fuse is pretty much, in the same vein as like a Helix. So I don't know.
Yes, Tony Clem, you do need to check out the new Tomb Mold. It's so good. I can't even describe how good it is. But anyway.
Francisco,
that's fun to say.
Of course, they finally blew their last fuse.
Tony Clem, yes, they did. Tony Clem, you need to check out the new Anger's Art too.
Francisco.
Yes, I tried to get Tony on. I tried to get Tony on to describe of the Full Terror Assault gig that he's like one of the promoters, puts it together, mows the lawn, sets up the stages, all that stuff, and he just let's just say shy, but maybe we'll get him on here one of these days. Just get him on the phone so we didn't have to show his beautiful mug. I don't know.
Tony? I think we should have Francisco on camera all the time, just issuing jokes.
I think so too.
That dude is funny.
Send him a link.
Yes.
Send him a link.
I would love for him to be our Ed McMahon. And
I bet he actually has a hot sports opinion about our topic today too.
Oh, I guarantee you. Well, are you guys ready to get into it, or Scott? You got anything else you want to?
No, that's good. I just wanted to mention that because I thought that was kind of cool. That
Yeah.
long time band
So
Sure.
finished it up.
so um as we do when we are busy not preparing for the show, um,
Oh,
Have
Lita
we
Ford's
ever
birthday
prepared
today.
for have we ever prepared for the show?
no,
I
well,
did,
you and I used to, kind
it's
of.
Lita Ford's birthday today.
Yep.
We
Yay,
should sing her.
Lita, we
We should
share
sing her
something
happy
in common.
birthday. Happy birthday. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no. Only if you sing it in ultimatum voice.
yeah,
I don't know
No,
if I could.
yeah.
you can't.
You might hurt
I need. I
yourself.
need. I
Can't
need the guitars for that.
I will
okay.
get to meet her in December. I'm pretty excited about that.
Isn't that Warrant show? Warrant, Lita Ford.
Warrant Winger, Lita Ford, and Steelheart. Yes.
She's one of those people that I've always. She's like a bucket list. Always wanted to meet her because I've been a fan since the Runaways when I was a kid. So,
Yeah.
but that's cool that
I'll
you're gonna
bet you
get to meet
have.
her.
I'll bet you have.
Yeah,
Haven't.
it's gonna be cool. I saw her on I saw her twice. Once was on when she was doing the Lita album, Kiss Me Deadly and all that. And then I think I saw her one time after that. It was LA Guns, Lita Ford, and somebody at the Bronco Bowl. And then I saw her with Poison. It was Poison, Lita Ford, and Brittany Fox at the old Starplex. So
Well,
I've seen her twice.
my buddy Bobby Rock is playing drums for her and has for about 10 or 15 years now, and that dude is an absolute beast. He's a super nice guy. So, if you get a chance, shake his hand too and tell him the carcass said.
Oh, I will. I will definitely try.
Stone's Gym, Houston, Texas, man. That's where we used to work out.
Yeah, I will do that for sure. Well, today's episode, as we were talking a second ago, that when we weren't preparing for the show, we didn't know what topic we were going to say, and Carcass was like, "What about old Metallica versus new Metallica?" And I was like, "Well, that topic will cover about 30 seconds because I know exactly what everybody's going to say." So here's the deal, and I'll tell you the needle in the haystack that I'm looking for. We're going to talk about Metallica up to the Black Album. So through And Justice for All, and then the Black Album forward. Those are the two Metallicas that we're going to talk about. Which one is better? Which one's bigger? Which one's faster? Which one's whatever you want to say. You can comment, defend, prove points, whatever you want, because to me it is the tale of two bands featuring one band, and it's going to be interesting. I think this is going to be over very quickly, but the needle in the haystack that I'm looking for is there is somebody out there that prefers Black Album forward. Somebody does. Once they went less thrash and more mainstream heavy metal, somebody prefers that. And
My money's on Damien Hair Metal, but I'm just saying that behind the scenes.
Saint Anger Snare MVP. Yes. So to me, this is a pretty obvious discussion. I think everyone, including all three of us, are going to say that the Metallica up through And Justice for All is the better. I think everyone's going to say that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of a show we have here.
Well, see, I was kind of jesting because,
yeah.
as Scott would say, yeah, that topic hasn't been covered, and it has a million times. However, the underlying part of that, the subtitle of that would be, does the allure of fame and fortune change your band's approach to music? And I know we can name a million bands. Well, I mean, Metallica is the prime example. The more popular they got, I think the weaker they got, and the more sloppy and the less inspired they got. They lost their savagery. But then you look at someone like Overkill, Exodus, or even Slayer to a certain extent. although they stepped into the trap of Diabolica and Musica or whatever that record is, which isn't a bad record, but it's not a great Slayer record. But that's I think that's kind of what we're looking at too, not just old Metallica is great and new Metallica sucks. And I don't think new Metallica really sucks, but as defined by the first 4 albums, I don't include the Black Album because I think that's a good radio friendly pop record to me. But a lot of guys will swear by it. I've heard guys from Forbidden and Testament and even Slayer say that it helped put them on the map, because it popularized heavy metal in a crucial time. And well, there you have it. But come on, are they as savage as that? I remember seeing the hype sticker. I still have the hype sticker for Saint Anger where it says it's the heaviest, fastest record they've ever done. Right. And I bought it thinking, okay, good. And
I bought it too. Bought it as a brand new release.
Yeah. Yep. I raced to the store to buy it.
I popped it in my CD player in my car, and I'm driving it, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like thinking, all right, this is a joke. It's going to change. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get those weird beginnings where it's like they compress the sound or they do something weird with the sound, and then it goes into the right sound. Or
they make it sound like you're listening to an AM radio station, and then all of a sudden then the real music pops on.
Right. And that's what I was thinking when they started, but the joke never ended.
No. And the real joke is that I actually got my hands on a promo that had the DVD in it where they actually play the whole album live in their studio, and it sounds killer. I mean, it sounds great. It sounds better than the album, what I'm saying. Now, well, the songs are great, and I mean, some of the songs are pretty good, but the production's, it's just terrible. It's a joke. It's a travesty but like you said, Rob, they could put out a record of children's songs and people would run to the record store and buy it. That's because they're that popular.
They are that popular. And matter of fact, I had this discussion with someone online just the other day. Are Metallica the biggest heavy metal band ever?
Yes. And when you are the biggest heavy metal band ever, guess what you can do?
Anything you want.
Whatever the fuck you want. That's exactly right. So if they want to do Lulu, they can do it. And they earned the right to do that. And if they want to go experiment with Saint Anger, they have earned the right to do that.
Wait. Mark Field said I bought Saint Anger and returned it the following day. Mark, can you fix it? Can you pitch correct it?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we need to have a Mark and Hair Metal Rob work on it.
It's just
what Mark just said, 100% true.
There you go.
Yes,
that would actually make me love them again.
I'm going to read it for those who can't see, but both Metallica and Iron Maiden need a producer who will push back, trim the fat off those bloated arrangements of recent years. I agree.
I agree, and here's the case I'm going to make for new Metallica. Not in the verses thing, because I don't think new Metallica is better. I think old Metallica is better for many reasons. I prefer the thrash style of Metallica. They were younger. They were hungrier. They had a lot to prove. And now they don't have to prove anything. But they also, in my opinion, have the pressure of 40 years down the road having to put out something that's not going to piss everybody off. I would not want to do that. But I think that if you take the last 3 albums and you listen to them for 40 years, I think they have a really great chance of growing on you continuously because they're good albums. There's a lot of great thrash on those last 3 albums. And yeah, it's more commercial. And yeah, James sings different because he has to. He has to be able to sing and take care of his voice. He could not have done that forever. Those early live shows were so pitchy and his voice was worn out. I mean, if he had done that, there would be no singer of Metallica, at this point.
Well, and then I guess the magic question is, and I woulda, coulda, shoulda, what if they hadn't fired their best songwriter and riff writer in Mustaine, and what if Cliff had not passed away? I think they lost their best songwriter and their best guitarist, and then they lost their soul when Cliff died, and they just became a discombobulated mess. But by then, they had earned so much respect due to the first 4 releases that it's like they almost couldn't fail. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, and I honestly think there's something to be said for that. I mean, they just came here and played 2 sold out shows, 100,000 people.
You destroyed the Taylor Swift record. I mean, Taylor Swift had sold
Jerry
out.
World, and they played songs from all over their career, from the first album to the new album. And it's not like they're putting out AOR records, you know. So I don't know, man. I think the new stuff is pretty good. And Damien Hair Metal saying the Black Album is their best thing. I think that's what you're saying. And I saw them on that tour, and they were fantastic.
Was that the Guns N' Roses thing?
I saw them a couple times then. Yeah, I did see that as well.
Yeah, funny. I went to see Guns N' Roses twice, and both times they were late. And the first time I just saw the last 10 minutes because they were third rung on the ladder. And then the last time, after waiting almost an hour for them to appear after Metallica, I just said, screw it. I'm not going to come and wait around for this. And then they didn't go on for like 2 hours, but that's beside the point. That's when James had burned his hair off and I think their guitar tech was playing guitar and James was sitting there next to him in a chair singing. It was kind of fun. Astrodome, as I remember. Somebody in Houston helped me out on that if they were there.
Yeah.
But,
we've talked about this before. Load and Reload. Was it their worst period? Maybe. But I think you could combine those two into one great album.
I do too. I think there's some good songs on those. I like some of them. I don't remember them ever denying they were a metal band, but
I don't remember that.
How does a band called Metallica deny that they were ever a metal band?
Well, I think that by their actions, they cut their hair, they wore makeup, they wore fedoras and ties and suits, and then they did this weirdly grungy style of music that it was almost like, we're Metallica, but we're, they could have been grungelica. I don't know. They could have been.
Well, the thing is, for the first 3-4 albums, I'd say 4 albums, even 5, even the Black Album I might put in there, they were leaders. They were, ahead of the pack. They weren't following anybody else's lead. They weren't trying to sound like anybody else. But clearly, after the Black Album, when metal was a dirty word in the industry, metal was a dirty word in the magazines, and all the magazines were proclaiming heavy metal was dead. I can remember telling all my friends, "Yeah, watch when Metallica's new album comes out. Everybody's going to be a metal fan again." And then they put out Load, and I was like, "Okay, Alternica." So they became, I think, at that point, and they kept talking about their contemporaries, and they were like contemporaries, like Korn, and they were naming all these bands. I'm like, those bands aren't your contemporaries, you friggin' morons. Yeah. Anyhow, so I just think at that point they started following rather than leading.
Well, you know what, and especially this week after 2 of my favorite new bands, Two Mold and Blood Incantation released it's an EP. One side's a heavier version of what they've been doing before, and the other side's an ambient track like on Time Wave Zero. But they changed their approach to music, but it's still heavy. That Two Mold, they've added elements of jazz fusion and ambient and atmospheric stuff. Almost, it's very.
They've sold out. They've sold out.
It's very, but it's no. But my point is that it's very reminiscent of Death, and Death transitioned through those atmospheric parts, and when they used Paul Masvidal and Sean Reinert from Cynic, it was very proggy and very jazz fusion like, but it didn't lose its heaviness, didn't lose its speed. And they maintained the integrity of their sound. They just improved on it, and that was the weird type of experimentation. It wasn't okay. I mean, it's as if our friends in Forebode just decided to do jazz fusion, but 100%, and TJ was singing clean vocals just for the fact that they had a successful EP release. You know what I mean? They didn't add those elements and utilize those elements in the music. I mean, look at Opeth. They were a full-blown Swedish death metal band super heavy, and then along comes Watershed, and you could see the gradual progression into, but it was a progression. It wasn't just a wholesale change just because we don't want to be, blue jeans and t-shirts anymore. I mean, it was like a gradual progression. You could actually see the progress. And Pale Communion, I mean, it's completely different than Morning Rise or Blackwater Park or any of those, but you can still hear the fact that it's Opeth in those records. But anyway, once again, I'm preaching to the choir and I'm pie in the skying it here because I just don't really care. I don't hate Metallica. I want everyone out there to know, and including my friend Angry Rob down in Houston, I don't hate Metallica. I just don't like them anymore. I just don't like, because they're not what they used to be. And he knows that, and I know that, and everybody else knows that. But we're all different than what we used to be. I get it. But
I would have gone to see Metallica, no problem. It was a money and venue fighting thing. I don't want to fight a crowd that big. We talked about this on the show. So let's address some comments real quick.
Oh, that's a good one,
I still
DJ.
would go see Metallica. I think they're a great show, and I think they would be fun to see. Rank the records between those two periods of time. Okay. For me, the first four go exactly in that order as far as favorite. I'm not talking about what's the best one, because I think Master of Puppets is their absolute masterpiece of all time. But my favorite, it's in order. And it's going to go to Tony's point. That's when I first heard them. So for me, every album, and yes, Master of Puppets. I love Master of Puppets. Absolutely, they're probably best record of all time. But to me, I liked every one a little bit less. And then when the Black Album came out, I felt like it was different. I felt like it was fresh. They were huge. They were getting metal noticed on a massive, massive scale. And Pantera kept that going too back in the day. And so I thought the Black Album was great and was kind of refreshing, even though it was very different. So Black Album forward, man, I don't know. I think the Black Album's got to be number one. I think the new one might be after that. And then Hardwired is great. Death Magnetic. And then, I don't know, Load and Reload and Saint Anger and Lulu and all. Although I don't think Lulu's a Metallica album. But
it is a Metallica album. They put their name on it. Metallica with Lou Reed.
Well,
it wasn't Lou Reed with Metallica. But to your point, so if we're talking up to, so is the Black Album part of the first four?
No.
Okay, so it's the first four, and then everything after that.
Yeah.
I think Death Magnetic's way better than the Black Album. It's just got that crappy Rick Rubin production that could have been improved, but I think that's their best thing that they put out since the Black Album, in my opinion. And I like Ride the Lightning a little better than Kill 'Em All, but I think it's Ride the Lightning, close second between Kill 'Em All and Master of Puppets, and then Justice for All be number 4 for me.
Yeah, I'd put them in the order they came out, but I mean, I discovered them on Kill 'Em All. It was a brand new release for me, and to me, it's got a youthful energy that can't. It's just, I don't know how to explain it other than it's got this youthful energy. It's raw, it's sloppy, it's just freaking awesome.
I agree.
I kind of see it like the first Venom album or the first Raven album. They're not well recorded. The musicianship is good but not great. But they just captured something very raw, energetic, and youthful on there that they never could capture again. Then I'd go Ride the Lightning, which I still love that album to this day. Master of Puppets, and from there it's a downhill spiral for me. But I do like Injustice for All. I don't listen to it very often. Although I was telling you guys, I was listening to this today, which is a Japanese live bootleg called Dynamic Live, and it's from that tour, and they play all those Blackened and Harvester of Sorrow and Eye of the Beholder and One, and I was really digging it live. So
yeah,
anyhow,
I saw them on that tour as well. I think that was the first time I saw them, and they were,
as far as the newer stuff goes,
God, they were good.
Man, I kind of thought that the Hardwired to Self-Destruct could have been a great album had they just taken the best songs off of it and not, because there's a bunch of 8-9 minute songs on there, a lot of 7-minute songs. If they would have just taken the best 8-9 tracks, I think it could have been a really good album.
Getting back to what Mark Field said about the bloated, having somebody push back. Let's hone these down. Let's make some 5-minute rippers instead of some 9-minute rippers with a bunch of droning at the end.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And Mark's point about Maiden, I want so badly to like new Iron Maiden. I want to. I pre-order it every time, and I just feel like I keep getting fooled because I love them, and it's not that the albums are bad, but somebody please put some reins on the dudes. I completely agree with Mark. Ryan, I think this is a fantastic comment. Black Album changed how many metal albums were recorded, sonically speaking. In that sense, it's a positive, in my opinion. I agree with that. It was a massive metal sound, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, just because an album does that, though, doesn't mean it doesn't make it a great album. I mean, I look at Def Leppard's Pyromania. Everybody was trying to sound like that album until the next album came out, and that album to me is total garbage. But everybody wanted to sound like it afterwards.
Right.
That overproduced, sticky, sweet, saturated garbage. Everybody wanted to sound like it.
Well, I think this was the era of the new way of the digital recording. The Pro Tools, where everything could sound perfect. There was no flaw. There was no more rawness to it. There was no more tape. Everything steered away from tape and became digitally, click tracked, and everything was perfect, and there was no mistakes. And I think that metal, that's what I don't know. That's what I love about metal. And I came from more of a punk side, but the fact that either you can play it or you can't, and there's no studio tricks up on the stage. I mean, there's no backtracking and voice over, whatever. You either rip or you don't. And I think that whole, I love a great recording, a perfect recording, or a sonically great recording. And I agree with the fact that some of those studio tricks were exercised on the Black Album, but can you play it live, and how is it going to sound?
Well, I saw them twice on that tour, and they did play it live, and they crushed it.
And there you go. And
it was great.
Not unlike Osric Tentacles, who every time they play their songs, they play it great.
Yeah, jackass. I can't believe Tony didn't say it first. I kept waiting. As soon as Tony popped in, I was like,
I cannot disappoint one of our great fans.
Yeah.
So there you go, Tony. But to my point is still solid, even despite the fact that you can't stand Osric Tentacles, but I really think you do, but you like them. But they can pull off all those crazy records that they put out. They can pull it off live, and that's what's so fun to see what the interpretation live is. It's I just saw an interview, or part of it was vocal and part of it was a read, but from Frank Zappa, he said, when you go see me play, you're going to be familiar with where I jump in and do a guitar solo, but guess what? It's going to be different every single night. I'm going to interpret the vibe in the room differently, and I think that's what's fun about it. Can you do it live? And how's that interpretation of that studio sound going to be interpreted live? I don't know.
Yeah.
But Metallica is a good live. They're a good live band, despite the fact that James Hetfield cannot sing. Period. End of story.
Hey, so
he's a vocalist. He's a vocalist and a frontman, and David Lee Roth couldn't sing either, but he was a great vocalist and a great frontman.
And that's the thing. I don't want to hear about how terrible David Lee Roth is when you've got James Hetfield there. I mean, they're about the same. They're about the same. But no, I take that back. Hetfield's probably a little better than David Lee Roth, but to your point, David Lee Roth is a great frontman. I think he's awesome.
But also Hetfield worked with what he had, and he got better with what he had, and he learned how to use it because okay. So, Oh, I need to. How can I message him? Okay, I'll message you on Facebook, Francisco.
Okay.
I want
Francisco.
to say something.
That's
I
fun
want
to
to say
say.
something real quick about Scott Beatley. Scott and I hooked up. I hope I can say this. And it's really cool because when you can collaborate with somebody, we got to collaborate on a little bit of stuff that Scott has done, and it was really fun to listen to it and dig into it and give some feedback. Not that my feedback is worth a shit, but Scott is the one that hooked me up with the Damaged Faith guys, and I got to remaster all of that, hopefully for a re-release, Scott.
That's what we're hoping for, yeah.
And Scott Beatley's been cool to get to know a little bit because he sent me some tunes and I checked him out and did a little bit of mastering experiment on a couple things, and it's just cool. It's neat because I don't usually get to collaborate with people like that are doing work on their music. And Scott's in a band called Warhog, so check out Warhog on Bandcamp. I think I'm getting that right. Please post your link, Scott, because I think some guys on the show would dig checking out your stuff. Can you guys confirm or deny this, John?
Yes, I think that is a fact, TJ. That's very astute observation on your part.
All right, Francisco, I'm going to message you real quick.
Do you know that? Do you know that band? Sanguiscabog. They're about as brutal as it gets. They make Mortician seem like the Jackson 5.
I just never understood that snare sound. I mean, what the heck were they thinking?
Well, they didn't turn on the snare. They thought it would be cool to do something more timbale sounding, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what Lars is thinking half the time. He's one of the few drummers.
But it wasn't even Lars. It was Rob Rock. I mean,
well, right. But Lars went along with it. You know, Lars and James didn't do anything without collaborating on it. And I don't know. Lars is weird. He's one of the few drummers that hasn't just gotten overwhelmingly better.
I think we're about to have a guest pop on, which is really cool. I want to address this comment. I always thought James Hetfield could have been a country singer with that voice. Maybe I could probably get behind that, but there's a reason that he can cover Turn the Page and Whiskey in the Jar and do a kick-ass job. I think those are fantastic.
Because those would make great country songs.
Yeah. Answer your question. No, I don't think Metallica should call it quits.
No.
I mean, why should anybody call it quits? I mean,
they're.
I mean, Kix is calling it quits, but why? They just got tired and they say, "Hey, we want to go home and enjoy our lives now."
Well, and the singer is like, "Hey, my wife retired and I can't sing anymore." He's like, "I'm cheating." He said it in the interview. He's like, "I'm having to cheat and do things that I just can't sing like that anymore." And I don't know. I like that they're going out with style and grace and integrity. But man, I do love Kix, and I saw him, I don't know, a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, and they were great. And I thought he did a great job singing. We love you, Frazier, very much. I don't know enough about. I'm stupid. I don't know enough about drumming metal bend to know if it's lazy or not.
I don't know. I'm not the only one. I am not Neil Peart. Okay, let's just say I'm not Dave Lombardo. I'm not even in the same zip code as. I'm not even the same zip code as Henry Vasquez. But I'll tell you right now, it's lazy.
I apologize, Carcass. I interrupted you with my laugh, but I nearly snotted when I saw Francisco pop in on the screen. Watch this. Shit. This is why I love you, man. Right here.
I mean,
I gotta get that banner out of there.
Don't.
People can talk mess all they want about Lars, but when I was a kid, I worshiped those guys. So,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So.
Absolutely. So you wanted to talk? Well, just take over the show, Francisco.
No. I just made that comment. I made that comment because a lot of people, I've heard people say, "Yeah, my favorite Metallica album is that Garage Days Revisited. I'm like, really? That might be the dumbest thing anybody could ever say. I mean, it's a cover song. I mean, if that's your favorite album, then you don't like Metallica, because obviously none of those are Metallica songs. So I've actually heard people say that's their favorite album, which makes absolutely zero sense. You know, but I mean, it's cool cover songs. But you know, I discovered a lot of those bands because of them. You know,
that's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I discovered.
Like,
I mean, what do you call it? Keep one Angel Witch. Death. Help me out here. Diamond Head. I didn't know who Diamond Head was until Metallica.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I a lot of that stuff. Budgie. I mean, I don't know who the heck Budgie was.
Yeah. Holocaust,
You know?
Budgie, Diamond Head, even Queen. No, I mean Queen was still getting a quick start there.
And that's another reason that I think they deserve to be recognized. They can put out whatever they want. Kids songs, Christmas songs, I don't give a shit. Put Metallica on it. It's going to sell. And they earned that right. They fought hard back in the day, man.
Okay, but like I said, they've earned it. Yes. They're great. Yeah, sure. But don't mandate that I have to like it. And if I don't, then yeah, we can still be friends. I mean, you know.
I mean, I don't think Lars is going to put you in jail if you don't like it.
He may try if I don't worship the ground that he walks on, but I don't know him personally. So, oh yeah, Blitzkrieg. There's another one.
Yeah, man, it's great. Yeah, Blitzkrieg. So many cool bands that I'm like, hey, you know, I'm glad I heard it. Killing Joke, stuff like that. You know, so but yeah, they were. Now I will say this: I haven't really paid attention to them since like '89 or whatever, but because I remember hearing that Black Album when it came out. I remember me and this buddy of mine were riding around with this older guy because he was cool and had a car and all that. He had just bought that album. We're sitting there, it's like, dude, is this song ever going to be over? It's like, from all I remember from that album, I guess there was a lot of ballads or something, like Unforgiven and all that. I'm like, yeah, this ain't for me. So, but you know, but Metallica. I mean, there's people that, you know, don't like him or whatever. That's fine. But to me, they were a pivotal band for me in 1980. Whenever I heard it, whenever Master of Puppets around that time when it came out, an older brother had it. I listened to it, and that's what got me into the heavier stuff. I was into AC/DC, you know, and they were pivotal for me. So, I mean,
when I heard Whiplash in 1983, I was blown away by how fast that song was. I mean, it's not, you know, as fast as bands are these days, but 1983, that was pretty damn fast.
Yeah, that's one of their best songs.
Yep, agreed.
Well, to me anyway. But yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, I know I clown on them and all that, but you know, they had an impact on so many people.
Yes.
I am not disparaging their greatness. I mean, early on, ditto. After everything Francisco just said, they were a pivotal band in getting me into speedy, heavier stuff.
Right.
And like I said, I came in from the punk side, so I was looking for something even heavier than that. But their speed and their technical ability to play was pivotal. But then after that, they just forgot their roots and they did other things. So that's
they stink.
More power to them. No, I didn't say that. But
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Before the show started, we were talking about, you know, what changed, why, you know, it's money.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call it a sellout, whatever you want to call it, but the fact of the matter is, these guys are making a good living off their music, and more power to them. Wish I could do it. Could have done that.
I mean, those dudes played for, what was that show in Russia where they played for 100,000 people or something? I mean,
I know they played for. I mean, Pantera played for 1 million people in Russia, and I don't know what Metallica played for out on that old runway of that old abandoned airport. But you know, I mean, Francisco, you still play in a band. I mean, ETD, and then Heavy Roach Activity, and I mean, you're not making $1 gazillion, but are you still having fun?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the only reason I do it. I don't have like aspirations beyond you know, writing music and sharing it with friends. You know, that's That's where it is with me. But you know, but I still to this day, I mean, you know, I can't help because you know you guys were talking about their arrangements and all that stuff, and yeah, they get a little wild with their arrangements. I totally agree, but it still kind of inspires me to try to do something different with a song where like, hey, well, we could put this and put that there. So even though, like I said, I haven't cared about them for forever, whatever. But you know, they still find their way into my world, especially when they put out those dang studio videos that I can't help but watch all the time, even though I don't like the song. But I'm still glued to the damn YouTube watching them like record songs all the time. I don't know if I'm the only one like that, but I can't help but watch it.
I love shit like that.
I do too.
Anything that I can see production wise, and so I just they could just set up a live camera in there and be putting, you know, guitar rigs together, and I'd be watching.
Yeah,
I love stuff like that.
That's the same way.
And
I'll watch all of them.
I looked it up. 1.6 million people in Russia.
There you go. I was way off.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I disagree with this.
No, I still think they're a metal band of sorts. I mean, if you're going to lump them in with Korn and Linkin Park and Deftones and whatever else, we had that discussion a little earlier too. But I don't know. Are those bands still metal? I guess they have metal elements. That's the problem with music itself. It just becomes so diverse and diluted. And I mean, that's the thing. I keep hearkening back. I mean, I tell people about your band, Francisco, all the time because it's just so raw and savage. And even as you do Eat the Decay, it still has that raw, savage approach. I mean, Cemeterian, all those bands. You didn't steer too far from what got you to the dance, and
no.
I don't know. That's what's cool. I guess you could experiment and become more ambient and more like Osric Tentacles, but I don't know that it would feel the same.
I mean, funny you mentioned that because Osric, I can't even say the damn name. Osric Tentacles.
Tentacles, yeah.
I mean, there might be a new ETD song that's similar to Osric Tentacles.
I would love to hear it.
I honestly, I don't know. I think I may have told you in a message, but I was at a that recycled bookstore in Denton one time, and I was looking through the records, and I was like, up front it's like Osric Tentacles. I honestly thought it was like a fake band you guys made up. I was like, holy crap, they exist, you know what I mean? So it was.
Oh, yes, sir, they do exist.
I didn't know they were real. I was like, oh, they do exist. Kind of like that. What's that old M&M's commercial? They do exist.
Yeah.
But I saw. I mean, I didn't. Out of it because I was like, oh wow. Oh.
Yep.
That's all right. You're back. I want to point something out about Francisco. You make me come closer to choking on whatever I'm drinking than anyone else on Facebook with your Photoshop skills.
Well, I mean, I couldn't do it without knowing who Fraser Ian Dawson is because he's usually the subject of most of my.
He's the brunt of your jokes.
Pretty much, but I mean, you know, he's. I was looking for one because I actually made one that large thing behind me. I had actually made one before with Fraser's head on there, and I put I forgot what I put, like dork or something in that font, but I couldn't find it fast enough. So, but no, I'm glad somebody appreciates the
Oh
silliness.
no, that's genius. That's awesome.
But yeah, no, awesome. It's all in good fun. Fraser knows that.
Oh yeah. No, and I always get sometimes the timing is perfect too because it's something that's top of mind going on in music or with somebody that we know on Facebook or whatever, and it's just like, oh shit, here it is, and I'm laughing at work, you know, when I should be. Well, yeah. Anyway,
I mean, I don't want to get you fired.
No, you've provided me lots of entertainment.
All right, cool.
That's awesome.
My PayPal is.
Tell me your password too, and I'll.
Yeah. No, but yeah,
Oh
dude.
man. Well, so what else about Metallica versus Metallica? Who wins? I think early Metallica wins, but you said something a minute ago, Carcass, that says you got to stick with what brought you to the dance. Well, what brought Metallica to the dance? It was the Black Album.
Well,
The Black
okay.
Album got them to the dance. They were playing great shit, and we all knew about them, but that was still fairly underground until two things happened. Ozzy took them on tour, and then they start the rise. But that Black Album, then it was just a straight shot up.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to, like I said, I'm never going to disparage their success. I'm never going to hate them because they're making money and they're breaking Taylor Swift's attendance records at Jerry's World. I don't despise them. I don't berate them because of their success.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's great that they are succeeding. However, when I say to somebody, I think 72 seasons is just an average record and it's droning, and I don't particularly care for it. I don't want them to come unglued and act like I just kicked their dog. I really don't care about that record, but it's okay because I really care about the first three. So don't I get credit for that?
You don't like Injustice? You don't like Injustice?
Metallica definitely has some.
I like Injustice. I like the Japanese pressing of it because it actually has bass in it. And the reissue that Walmart put out about 2012 actually is that.
Huh.
So it actually has bass in it because somebody got wise to the fact that they were spoofing on their brand new bass player who wrote some crushing killer riffs and had some great bass work on there and actually made the album the way it should be. So I do like it. I think I don't like the clicky drums, but I can EQ some of that out. And the snare there's something wrong with this. And why is it with Metallica? There's always something wrong with the snare after the Injustice for All. But anyway, the album is great. The one song, it drones on a little too much. That's where they started thinking, on TV when I was on doing some TV stuff, when they wanted you to stretch and keep talking until the break, they would do this. Well, somebody in the studio was doing that all the time to them, and I think it created it created a monster, kind of monster, as a matter of fact.
Oh God!
Yeah,
there were some long songs on Master of Puppets, but it made sense. But to me, I started losing interest on Injustice for All because some of the songs, it was like, what is going on? Where are we going? And it just seemed to take forever. But I was listening to Poison then, so what the fuck did I know?
Jeez Louise.
I'm sorry, Francisco. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. You can still like him. He's. Yeah,
I had friends listening to Poison in '86. But they were like 12-year-old girls.
Yeah, man, it's so funny what you like because I was so into it. Well, when Rick Perry was on the show, he was like, man, we didn't know it was all metal. It didn't matter if you were listening to Poison and Def Leppard or Bon Jovi or Metallica or Slayer or Exodus. It was all just, it was all just metal. And then, but yeah, some of that shit, I go back and visit it now, and it's just like, wow.
I mean, I like the first Cinderella album.
Oh,
I like it. I think it rocks. I think it's a good rock and roll album.
That's good. It's really good.
Agreed.
Well, y'all got any parting shots before we get out of here?
No. Thank you, Francisco, for joining us, though. That was cool.
Yeah, no. Yeah, thanks for having me. I didn't want to crash your guys' thing, but
I'll tell you one thing about Metallica: they have some rabid fans, boy. They will fight to the death to defend their idols. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say the same thing again. They could put out an album of fart noises, and somebody would say it was the greatest album ever.
And I would be defending it. Yes.
And that would be so idiocracy, but it's so true. Sad but true, but it's true.
Yeah.
This guy's on it today. Sad but true, some kind of monster.
Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the elder
Anyway.
statesman of the show. He brings that kind of high level
They're-
content.
The new epic track, whoever dealt it.
Yeah. And hey, man, pop on anytime. Seriously, dude. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually home from work around 4:30 or something like that. So
yeah, no, it's awesome. If you've got
Wait,
something
you
to
work?
say,
I thought you were a rock star.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, making tons of money.
That's right.
yeah. I
You
mean,
yeah.
right to experiment with whatever you want.
No, I appreciate it. I try to catch a guy's show whenever I can, and there's this one thing that's like Tuesdays, you guys come on like 5, and then there's like this, you guys know the pizza review guy? I'm like hooked on his videos where he reviews like a pizza every day, like at 5 o'clock. So I'm like, but I usually watch you guys because they're live, and then I'll come back on. No, I dig it. Like I said, Fraser was the one that told me about you guys. So shout out to Fraser, Ian Dawson, who got a new job. He actually got a new job. I don't know if you guys know that or not. He got a new job. He is James Rivera's chauffeur now. So he's taking him around.
Whoa. Yeah. Oh, that's freaking awesome.
No, he loves him some James Rivera. So always.
And as we all do, because see, there's another guy as Hellstar. I think Hellstar has actually gotten more heavy and more fast and more aggressive as the older they get. They've gone just the opposite of Metallica almost. I mean, I remember when those guys were wearing those white patent leather boots with tassels on them and spandex and on those early albums, and they were still great speed metal records. But man, some of those late, Vampiro and King of Hell, and man, those are just great savage records.
Oh, Glory of Chaos too.
Glory of Chaos. Holy smokes.
Yeah. They're good, man. There is something weird. So I don't know if you guys know anything about this. While we're live on the air, I want to see if I can get some help. So outside my window, the sky is gray and there's a giant rumbling in the sky. Do y'all know what that is?
Man, I thought I was hearing things today because it almost sounded like rain.
I know. And the other day I was outside and some clear shit was falling out of the sky on me. It was weird.
The sky was turning red.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, we had that here. We had that here in the desert too the other day. I was surprised. So I heard cracks of thunder, and I was like, "Dang!"
If you don't know,
rain in the desert, nice.
Yep.
Now we're just a bunch of old jackasses talking about the weather. So let's.
Well, the weather's not the same as it used to be. But anyway, Francisco, if you don't know,
weather's pretty metal. I mean, thunder and lightning. Come on, hurricanes, tornadoes. I mean, what's more metal than that?
That's right.
Like thunder and lightning. Thin Lizzy.
It's so exciting. It hits you like a hammer. Oh God, it's just we have devolved into madness.
Anyway,
all right, boys. Well, thank you, Francisco, for popping on with us. That was awesome. You can follow me on Instagram at Metal Robs Records, where I will wear you down with all the shit that's in my store. You can follow the Carcass at Carcass John Art on Instagram, where he will kick your ass with art. And you can find Scott on YouTube by simply searching Scott Waters. You can find him by searching No Life Till Metal. He's very easy to find. And I put the link up to Francisco's ETD from Bandcamp, so go check that out. And I also posted a link to Scott Beatley's Warhog on Bandcamp, so check that out as well. You know how we do it. Are y'all ready? Do we need to say anybody else happy birthday before we go?
Nope. It's not my birthday till tomorrow, baby.
All right. Well,
really happy birthday, man.
Hey, man. Thanks.
Until next time.
Metal
will prevail. All hail Francisco's Photoshop skills.
Francisco.